the first question that everybody asks is why.
Mm-hmm.
That Dylan Roof goes into a church in Charleston, shoots up all those people.
After
The first
sitting
thing
with them.
everybody wants, yeah, and
Yes,
everybody's like, well,
Jesus.
why? Well, he hated them. There's so much frustration that people experience when they want the answer
Mm-hmm.
of why, and it made the ultimately the why is usually, well, I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that this is what I wanted to do, and I had the power to do it, so I did it. And I know that's not satisfying, but that most of the time, the why is simply that I had an evil desire,
Mm-hmm.
an evil impulse, and I gave into it, and I decided to do the thing I wanted to do.
Well,
And
Spider-Man did that really well actually in the first appearance of Carnage, because he's killing a
mm-hmm,
guy, and a guy is saying why, and he says because I can, and
yeah,
that was it.
or like, I've talked about how I frightening. We were talking about scary movies the other day when
Mm-hmm.
you were over here, and we watched Skinamarink, which was not a scary movie. It was a dumb one.
Yeah,
But
Skankamarink.
I talk, I, I mentioned The Strangers,
Mm-hmm.
and the scariest line of that movie is when they ask them why, and they said because you were
Yeah,
home.
because you were home.
But I mean, that's so many of
Mm-hmm.
the monstrous people who have done these horrible things. If you ask them why, they're just like, oh,
They were
it
there.
it was I was they were there.
Yeah,
I was there. They were there.
that's a lot. We try to TV try to romanticize, especially like serial killers and that kind of stuff, as like being high, like I said, high functioning kind of sociopaths and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they want everybody to be Hannibal because that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, most of them they don't.
Yeah. Well, it's like
They don't function on some massive genius level.
what was it? Was Mindhunter the one? Was that the show where they were actually dividing up the two types of killers, like high functioning and low functioning? But that's where they came with. They were like, it seems that it's a huge spectrum between like extremely low, like reptilian grab while they're there, and high functioning. They have a specific type and a specific fetish that they function.
Mm-hmm.
They focus on all that kind of stuff. But um, man, all that to say, I think. Oh, I was gonna say is the reason. I think the reason people, especially academics and political activists, don't like the answer of inherent evil, whether it's spiritual or whatever. It's just, I would just call it human potential, because it's hard to deny that. Yeah, people have potential for anything.
Yeah.
It's because you can't fix that.
Yeah.
What you do is say,
Yeah.
like let's say Dylan Roof, and people are correct to say it was an idea of white supremacy that helped him lead there. He wrote that in his diary. That's why we can actually say that.
Absolutely.
Fixing
Absolutely.
that will not fix evil. It will fix that variation expression of evil. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Mao killed millions of people in the name of communism. Well, fixing communism isn't going to fix people like Mao. Now, these
Yeah.
things, these ideas give excuses, and they give justifications, like we were saying. And you know what both of those, communism and white supremacy, do? They say you're a victim.
Yeah.
They give the justification. Well, now you have the strength, and especially communism, the idea of now you have the strength to do what's right. You have the knowledge of how the world should work. And that's how
Well, I mean, it's the
that's how all
same.
of those things feel. I mean, I'm not trying to but that's how ideologies work, especially political
Yeah, I
ones.
mean, it's the same
Yeah.
thing with Marxism. It's that idea that, oh, we got to blame this person,
Mm-hmm.
this group, this, and if we destroy them,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll have the power to remake the world the way we want it to be. I mean, and that is the villain trope in a nutshell. Is I've got whatever powers I've been given,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to use them to get revenge against the people that hurt me, and to remake the world the way I want it to be.
Mm-hmm. A better place, a utopia.
Yeah, I'll make it better, and I'll do that by killing all of you
Well,
and stealing all of your stuff.
and it shouldn't be, but this is a spicy take, but I'm going to say it because this is what our book's about, Apollyon 20XX, and a lot of our universe. The horseshoe theory of political extremes is real. Extreme leftism to the point of like communist marches and killing people, and say like Nazism, which is part of that, but I'm not going to go into that. Let's say white supremacy, because that's the one that Twitter likes to talk about so much. They both teach that certain people are oppressing other people that you're a part of, and the only way to do that, to fix that, is to get rid of those people that are oppressing you. It's all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you're a victim. You need the power to reshape the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what causes evil. That's just what gives it a justification.
Yeah.
Yeah, evil's
that
already
gives
there.
you the yeah, you already want to do something. You're already angry. You already want
You're
to hurt
hurt.
somebody.
You feel helpless. Yeah, you want an outlet for all of that.
Right, and so somebody or something you read or something you listen to or somebody that you watched on TV or whatever feeds into that spite that you're already feeling and puts a target on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you can just now I'm justified to let all that crap out.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that comes out in speech and hate speech, or whether that comes out in physical action against someone else,
Mm-hmm.
it's evil doesn't necessarily have to be killing somebody. In fact, as a Christian, we look at it. Jesus said, "Look, if I know you've heard, thou shalt not murder," but he's like, if you've hated somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as God's concerned, you've murdered them in your heart.
Yeah, because you've belittled the image of God. That thing
Exactly. So that
was
idea
sacred.
of looking. Yeah, that idea of looking at anyone and saying, I have the right to end you.
Mm-hmm.
I have the right to wish you harm and cause you harm if the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
That's evil. That's what evil is.
Yeah, evil in the Christian sense, evil is just anyone trying to be God. Because
Mm-hmm.
wanting to hurt someone when there's only one judge of the living and the dead is trying to put yourself in the place of God. It's idolatry and blasphemy.
Yeah, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Mm-hmm. But what's so brilliant about the Christian belief, and maybe I'm a little biased, but is the idea, we don't rage against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces. Because what that does, and I'll say that again without hiccuping, we don't rage against or war against spiritual. We don't war against physical forces, against the flesh. We war against spiritual forces. Because what that does, it says no physical human being is your enemy.
Yeah, it's the ideas.
Destroying them won't fix evil.
Behind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's if you don't see that person as your enemy, but instead you see the ideas and the influences that have aimed that person at
Mm-hmm.
you, and those ideas are your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I can love that enemy or that hostile person
Mm-hmm.
without embracing the thing that is driving them.
Well, it's beautifully simplistic, and it's the greatest antithesis to every religion and ideology ever, because every idea says I'm gonna manifest myself in a person to attack other people. That idea says, I'm gonna speak truth against evil to save these other people.
Right.
Like it's not this person I'm fighting; it's these ideas that possess them.